The Simpsons has been on air for what seems like forever. There are 31 seasons with around 639 episodes. As a result, you kind of get to know the family pretty well, especially the main character, Homer Simpson. Now, there's a lot going on with him. In fact, some people say that he's an evil genius, others think that he's a cold-blooded killer. And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about today as we take a look at some of these theories surrounding him. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary Homer Simpson's theories. Starting off this countdown, we have the Immortal Man. Homer Simpson is theorized to be immortal. Why is this? Because no matter what happens, he will always live on. He can never be killed. In several episodes, Homer has gotten into situations that should have severely harmed him or killed him, but this never happens. He can bleed, his bones break, but they will always heal. In fact, he's been around longer than we realize. In multiple episodes, we see a lot of Homer lookalikes from back in the day. Like, we see a Homer lookalike with a beard present for the 10 Commandments. Maybe this is Homer himself and not just a lookalike, meaning he's been around for a very, very long time. In fact, he's older than Mr. Burns. Moving on to number 9, we have the self-awareness. So in the season 4 episode, Homer Heretic, Homer gets visited by God. At the end of the episode, Homer asks him what the meaning of life is. But just before God answers, the show ends and cuts to the credits. So what is it that God told Homer? Well, some people have theorized that God told Homer that he is just a cartoon. From that episode onwards, Homer is aware that whatever he does won't have lasting consequences. That's why he can just quit his job, go to space, and go on other wacky adventures. It's also why he's gotten badly injured but never dies. He knows he's untouchable and now he does whatever he wants. In our 8th spot, we have Homer the Clown. So I did mention this theory in my video, Top 10 Scary Simpsons Secrets. If you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend you check it out as well. So on The Simpsons, Krusty the Clown is shown to be a pretty outrageous character that is worshipped by Bart. But have you noticed that Homer and Krusty share very similar features? I mean, if Homer wore some makeup and wore a red nose and had some teal hair, he would look just like Krusty. Well, this theory goes that Krusty is actually Homer's secret identity. Now, Krusty is seen to have some very bad habits. He's constantly smoking and drinking and is shown to be very depressed. So if Krusty was indeed Homer this whole time, does that mean that Homer would have been hiding these qualities from his family? Sad to think about it, but Homer might just dress up as Krusty and drink his sorrows away. Fun fact, Matt Groening actually came forward and said that he originally designed both the characters to look similar because he wanted to originally reveal that Krusty was Homer's persona. But it hasn't happened. Yet. In our 7th spot, we have the alcohol addiction. It's no secret that Homer loves his beer. Maybe not as much as Barney, but we still have seen him get drunk on multiple occasions and he guzzles down a lot of beer. Well, people believe that Homer is an alcoholic struggling to get his addiction in check. They think that behind Homer's goofy facade is a very erratic and depressed man who always needs to drink or to be drunk. Although the show may not show it, Homer may just be intoxicated 24/7, and that's why he acts the way that he does. In fact, over the course of the show, Homer has said things like, beer, my one weakness, or, alright brain, you don't like me and I don't like you, but let's just do this and I can get back to killing you with beer. It just highlights how reliant Homer is on his beer. When I say the word genius in relation to The Simpsons, people would often associate it with Lisa Simpson. But what if I told you that she comes from a family of geniuses? That's right, Homer may appear to be dim-witted, but in fact, it's theorized that he is actually a genius. Theory goes that all of the Simpsons are super smart, but only Lisa chooses to embrace it. In fact, in the episode HOMR, Homer becomes a genius after having a crayon removed from his brain. So this whole time he was super smart, but the crayon that was lodged in his brain was limiting his potential. However, he ended up reinserting the crayon into his brain at the end of the episode. In fact, there is evidence of Homer being clever despite having the crayon in his brain. In certain episodes, he has built a time machine, nuclear weapons, and even an advanced AI robot. So yeah, it may not seem like it, but Homer's a genius. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the nuclear accident. Ever wonder why all the people in Simpsons are yellow? Well, you can thank Homer for that. It's theorized that Homer Simpson made an error at work which caused the nuclear power plant to explode. However, it didn't kill anyone. Instead, everyone was exposed to highly toxic waste that caused them to mutate and turn yellow. It's also why they only have 4 fingers instead of 5. I mean, Homer is quite careless at work, so it could just be that he's the reason why everyone looks the way that they do. Which makes me wonder, what did they look like before the explosion? In our 4th spot, we have the real killer. In the Simpsons episode titled Who Shot Mr. Burns, Mr. Burns was found shot, surrounded by a bunch of suspects. Now, if we look at who's all there, we can see Krusty the Clown. However, he doesn't look the same. In fact, some people have speculated that it was actually Homer who shot Burns in a Krusty the Clown disguise so that he wouldn't get caught. Moving on to number 3, we have the Town Killer. So let's take a look at the 2007 Simpsons movie. In this movie, the whole town of Springfield gets trapped inside of a dome as a result of some toxic pig waste that Homer dumped into the town's river. Homer and his family manage to escape while Springfield is destined to be blown up, killing all the residents. Now, at the end of the movie, Homer is the hero and saves everyone. Or did he? This theory goes that Homer made his way back to Springfield from Alaska to save his wife and kids. But when he reached there, the town was already blown up and his family and friends were all killed. He then went back to Alaska where he still currently lives, isolated in a cabin. All the events we see are from Homer's imagination. He imagines that he is still back in Springfield, living with his family. Moving on to number 2, we have the murderer. Now, we know that Homer has done some questionable things, like he continuously chokes out his son Bart, but he wouldn't actually harm him or others, right? Well, turns out Homer has a darker mind than we thought. In the episode titled Papa Don't Leach, Homer and his father Abe are driving home when they go off the road and over a cliff. Homer escapes, but his father is still stuck in the car. That's when he decides to suffocate his dad to death. He looks him right in the eyes, places his hand on his face until he just knocks out. Then, turns out it was all just a dream, but Homer says, "I was having the most wonderful dream." Okay there. Basically, the Simpsons writers implied that Homer wants his father dead, and may even want to be the one who does the deed. Homer definitely still holds grudges against his father from his childhood, enough so that he wants him dead. And in our number 1 spot, we have the coma. This theory makes so much sense that it's actually pretty crazy. So in the 1993 episode titled So It's Come to This, a Simpsons clip show, Homer gets crushed by a vending machine and falls into a coma. Eventually he wakes up from the coma at the end of the episode, but this theory states that he might never have woken up, and he's currently still in a coma, imagining everything that we see. First off, they claim that after this episode there was a huge shift in the tone of the show. The show went from focusing on Homer and Marge's marital problems and like Bart cheating in school to Homer going to space or Homer working for a supervillain. The episodes have gotten more extreme, and it could be because Homer is just in a coma imagining it all. There's also one more piece of evidence to support this theory. In the episode titled Homer the Heretic, as I mentioned before, Homer gets visited by God. Before the end of the episode, Homer asks him, "What is the meaning of life?" God replies with, "You'll find out when you die." Homer says, "I can't wait that long." Then God says, "You can't wait 6 months?" Now, the episode that Homer is in a coma aired 6 months after that episode, proving that this theory is quite possible. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments for my video, Top 10 Scary Mickey Mouse Theories. A person who can commented, "Imagine him as a real person." Ooh, Mickey would be really scary as a real person. Yeah, no thanks. Augustus the Emperor commented, "Now I'm scared of my Mickey pillowcase." I have a Mickey pillowcase too. I mean, I don't use it anymore, but it's in the basement. Wow, that's kind of freaky. But I agree. Can you imagine just rolling over in the middle of the night and seeing Mickey's face just That's a little scary, yeah. Ooh. And that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you. Enough so that he wants him dead.